what we have done is, we have created a complete document right from the Google search, what you need to search, what are the things you need to install. Everything is been documented. It is a 60-page document. Every single snapshot, even if you ask me, this is a file that I'll be downloading. Even that copying into the folder, I have taken a snapshot. The way I've organized this installation process, it will make your work very, very easy. You need not struggle at all. Every single step is been snapshotted. The only work for you is you need to just follow the process. It's a 61-page document. As told, every single step is documented. You just need to follow. In today's session, I'm going to walk you through slide by slide. But I'm saying if you follow this, you will be able to install MSBI. But before I talk about the installation step, there is an important step that you need to remember. What is our hardware and software requirements? So this is where most of the people will be stuck, not knowing that is my system supportable, or maybe what type of the configurations I need to have. So these are the few of challenges. Okay. Now, if you observe carefully, we are going to install the SQL Server 2019 version. When I say 19 version, we already have a 2022 version as well, but which we are not focusing. 22 version having a lot of changes, updates, but most of the companies are still going with the 19 updates. So we will go with the 19. We will install the 19 version and then we will proceed. Okay. Now, it's a Microsoft document where you'll get to know that what are the prerequisites or what are the hardware and software requirements for running your MSBI projects. Now, to start with, the SQL Server requires a minimum of 6 GB available hard disk space. Okay, so it requires minimum of hard disk like 6 GB of hard disk space. Monitor not necessary, because you can even in your laptop also it will work, but everything will be small. So they are expecting monitors, not required. Now, when you come for memory, minimum of 1 GB is expected as a RAM. Okay, 1 GB of RAM is expected. We are going with the normal developer edition. Okay, so it should be possible, but unfortunately what is happening is 1 GB, 2 GB and all is gone. Nowadays, you are getting a smartphone itself is for 16 GB. Yesterday, one of my friend purchased one smartphone. I asked him features. He's telling 1 terabyte of hard disk space, 1 terabyte of space, and he's telling 16 GB of RAM. For what? Smartphone. For smartphone itself, he is getting a 16 GB RAM. So you can never think of 1 GB RAM of your desktop or a laptop. So minimum is required, but I would always recommend you your laptop should be above 4 GB, minimum 4 GB. Okay, as I said, even smartphones are coming for 16 GB RAM. So you can never go with a laptop with 1 GB RAM, which cannot work at all. Not recommended. Okay, make sure your laptop is minimum of 4 GB. And coming for processor, you need minimum of 64-bit processor with a 1.4 gigahertz. Recommended is more than 2 gigahertz. Okay, so if you see here, where is my system configuration? My PC properties. So if you see here, the processor, if you see, it runs on 3.6 gigahertz. and it is a 64-bit operating system. Okay. Now, one thing you need to remember is this is a 64-bit which runs on 3.6 gigahertz. So minimum requirement is you should have 2 gigahertz in terms of your space, and this is a 64-bit. You cannot have 32-bit system at all. You can see the note. Installation of the SQL server is supported only in 64-bit processor. It is no longer supported in 32-bit processor. Okay, you cannot have 32-bit system. Now, whatever I'm speaking in terms of hardware. When I say hardware, it's about talking about the hard disk and the RAM space, right? So this is something which I'm talking. Now, when you come here, as said, you have to have a 64-bit system. You should have minimum of 2 gigahertz or more than that, and you should have a good space. And I recommend you to have at least 4 GB RAM. At least, even if I say honestly, I want to tell you one thing. My system is 16 GB RAM with the i7 configuration with the 3.6 gigahertz. Still, sometimes the jobs get stuck. That's what I've experienced even with the 16 GB RAM. So probably because what is happening in MSBI is lot of tools here. 3 tools I need to install. Here it was only one-stop shop. Everything you were able to do here. But in MSBI, what happened in MSBI? For integration, I need to use this. For coming up with additional information, I have to use this. And for this, I need to use this. So lot of requirement basis, like 3 tools. In order to install 3 tools, my system has to support. It's very, very highly challenging for me to work with the 3 tools, but never to leave a heart. This is something which we're using before Power BI. Okay. See, if you ask me, Power BI is given more importance because currently we are using that. But since, as I said, many companies are migrating from MSBI to Power BI, Power BI is going to be the future. Power BI is going to be the future. But if you learn the past, if you know what is past, it will be good for your career growth. Okay. Now, let's talk about installation. Now, this is all what I'm talking is in hardware. Now, let's talk about the software. Now, your operating system has to be a Windows operating system. It is recommended if your operating system is above Windows 10. Now, what I'm talking in terms of software now. Hardware is done. Now, I'm talking in terms of software. Minimum expectations, your Windows OS, and it should be Windows 10 and above. It is very, very difficult if you have Windows 7 or 8. Windows 7 or 8, it's very difficult. I would always recommend you to upgrade. Okay. I always prefer you to upgrade, but it should be minimum Windows 10. Now, some of the .NET frameworks has to be there. Of course, it comes in with your laptop configurations only. Okay. Specifically, I'm not asking you to have a separate .NET frameworks. It is all the pre-requirement, I would say. Whenever you have installed your OS also, right? Whenever you have installed your OS, just give me 1 minute. Control panel. So in the control panel, I'll show you the programs. So if you see all these things which have been installed, so if you see the .NET frameworks, this .NET frameworks, this .NET frameworks. So whenever you get the system, by default that I've installed all this. It comes with the OS. All this .NET frameworks. whenever you have purchased a system, maybe in that time they would have got the installation done. So you need not worry. So separately, I'm saying that it's a requirement, but you need not worry about it. By default, it will be there in every laptop if you have purchased in the last 5 years. Okay. Now, talking about the disk space, or maybe how much data is required. Okay. Depending on all these sub modules, your space has to be at least a space. We have talked about it, right? We have talked about space and hard disk. Now, what I'm trying to tell is, in terms of your system, what you have in terms of the features, this and all requires this much disk space. The reporting services requires this space, and maybe the integration services requires this space. So all this is something which is recommended. It is recommended that you have minimum of this space in your C drive for installation. Okay, 1000 MB is what? 1 GB. Okay, 800 MB is what? 8 GB. So minimum of 8 GB of space is required in order to install this in your C drive. Always, all your software is recommended to install in your C drive, because that's where you get your system supporting your program files. So maybe I have around 49 GB of space, but it is recommended that you give at least this much space to your installation. Okay. Now let's go with installation one by one. Just remember, in order to install your MSBI, you need 4 tools. One is SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition. And after installing this, I will be using Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. This is again a tool. I'll tell you what and all each tool will do. And then I'll be using the Visual Studio Community. And finally, I'll be using SSD tools. Okay. SSD tools is basically nothing but the tools which are available for working with MSBI. Okay. But what has happened in the latest version is, in the latest version, so basically it stands for SQL Server Data Tools. DT stands for data tools. So SQL Server Data Tools, basically it was a separate step previously, but in the 2019 version, you need not install separately if you're using 2019 Visual Studio. So you have different versions. For example, if you see here, let's say I have the tool. See, I have a Visual Studio 2015. I have the Visual Studio 2017. I have the Visual Studio 2019. So I have different versions of Visual Studio. Okay, but the latest one which I have is a Visual Studio 2019. So that is something which I've installed in the third step. If I've installed in the third step, you need not install this SSD tools, because automatically it is available. I'll tell you what is this. But if you have went with anything like 2017, this is a separate tool. But I recommend everyone to go with the 2019, because 2017 is vast, I would say, not upgraded one. So every tool which you are installing, make sure it is 2019 and above. 2022 also, please don't go for it, because it is still in the progress. People are working on 2022's version, but the most preferred one, even in the organizations, most of the companies are using this version, which is 2019, which is a stable one. Okay. Now, the first tool which you're going to load, SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition. What exactly is this tool? So SQL Server is a relational database management system from Microsoft. The system is designed and built to manage and store information. The system supports various business intelligence operations, analytical operations, transaction operations. This is a database. Your SQL Server is a database. This database is managed by Microsoft, which provides a lot of additional features of coming up with analysis, business intelligence operations. Also, we can do it. It's a complete package. You have n number of other database also in the market, but we are going with the Microsoft SQL Server, which is being provided by Microsoft, which is like a complete package. We recommend to install this SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition. Okay, this is something which is required for initially to start with the MSBI tools. Now, let's go step by step. The first thing which I'll be doing here is I will search the same thing, SQL Server 2000 editor version download. I'll search this. See, the installation is being done each and every step for you. Okay, each and every step is snapshotted. You can just keep this reference. This document will be shared with each and one of you. This document, you keep it as a reference and just follow the process. It's like an open book exam. Okay, let's say you have to write an exam and we are giving a permission to write copy from the book. Similarly, I'm giving you every single step well documented right from the Google search also. You need not even worry what you need to search in Google. That also is being searched and it is being taken for you. You need to just follow the process. Okay. Now let's say we take the SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition download. I click the first link. Let's do one thing. I will save this as PDF so that I'll be marking some points for you. So let me save this as PDF. Okay. Now I'll start marking the points. Now, as I said, these are the 4 tools which I need, but this is something which we do not know. Let's go step by step only. So the first thing which I'll be doing is I'll be going with the SQL Server download right from the Google search. If you see, this is a thing you need to search in Google. Okay. Now, this is like SQL Server download version. Then you go here. First link will be open. Click that. The moment you click that, you will be getting this. Try SQL Server on premises or in the cloud. For now, everything we are working in on premises. On premises, you're trying to bring to your system, your laptop, and then you're going to work. And you don't do anything. Come down. If you come down, you'll be seeing this. If you see here, if you see SQL Server on Azure, SQL Server on the edge, SQL Server on the premises, don't click anything. Basically, it will be like get started will be there here, but don't do anything. Come down. If you come down, this is the 2 things which you'll be seeing. One is called the developer version. One is called the express version. Okay. We are going to develop the packages and give for the deployment. We will not go with the express edition. We will go with the developer edition. Developer edition is a full feature free edition licensed for use of development and test datasets in a non-production environment. we are going to use it for this. We are not going to go for Express because this Express requires a lot of organization support. They need a good, very good systems, very highly configured system. Even my laptop also may not work. It should be highly configured system where you'll be productionizing it, the models. It is also chargeable, that it requires a lot of licensing. For developer version, it is a free edition license. So what you're doing in the developer version, it is almost same in the Express edition as well. So we will go with the developer edition. Okay, Express edition is used for deploying your packages into the productions, which can later we can push it from developer to Express edition also. So we are going with the developer version. Click this. The moment you click this, the file is getting downloaded. The file is getting downloaded. So what I've done, I have created a folder in my drive, software. In the software, I have created a SQL server and I have copied this. This file size, if you see, it's a small one. Okay, I'll copy this. Then I will go and install this just like a exe file. I will click this. Now, this SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition comes with the three things: basic, custom, download, media. Now, since we are going to work as a complete end-to-end project in MSBI, in the basic, you will not have all the requirement which I need. So you have to go with custom. You have to go with custom. So select the custom. Select the custom. Don't go with the basic. Basic may not help in our future classes because we have to do SSIS project, SSRS project, SSAS project. This may not be helpful. Go with the custom. Then post this. You start giving a path. As I said, every software, try to make it in the C drive so that your system works well. So this is the installation. You can either give any path as such, or you can just go and install C drive SQL 2019. Now post this, go for install. Once you install, it will be download successfully. Okay, when I say download successfully, it is downloaded all the prerequisites, and it is also saying that your SQL Server installation will begin shortly. It will begin shortly. This is a one-page notification that you will get that all the prerequisites has been downloaded successfully, and we are ready to start our installation. Right? The next step. This is something which you'll get. This is something which you'll get. You'll get planning, installation, maintain. The next step. Post this. Post this. This will be the page that you will be getting. Your planning, installation, maintenance, tools, all this you'll be getting, and we are more interested to know on installation. We are more interested to know on installation. So in the installation, if you go, you can have this new machine learning server, upgrade from a previous version, install SQL Server data tools, install SQL Server management tools. If you can see, you need to go with this one, where I am going to install a new SQL Server standalone installation where you can start creating your project. You need a system, you need a software where you can work as a standalone. The standalone meaning is you need not depend on anyone else, anyone's system. It's completely working in your system. So this is something which you need to decide. New SQL Server standalone installation, you'll be seeing this. Okay, now once you open this, this is the thing which you'll be getting. Okay, if you want to keep on check for updates, you can select this. I usually don't select this because always it keeps on irritating us. There is a new update, there is a new update, install it, keeps eating our head. So for now, let's not do it. Already we have taken the latest version of 2019. So let's not stick on to any of the updates. So I will go with next. And this is the initial steps. These are all the steps that we need to follow. And everything is like you need to click next, 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 next. Okay, after this step, this will be open. Here you can see that all this downloading files, extracted files, everything will be completed line by line. If you see, this is passed, this is passed, this is passed. Of course, the firewall, it is coming with some warning. It is still passed. So all this, it is completed. Again, I'll go with next. Now, you are performing a new installation of SQL Server. Just select this. Perform a new installation of SQL Server. Go with next. Then you are specifying a developer version. In the drop down, you may find any other things, but go with the developer version. Go for next. And finally, you are accepting the terms and conditions. Go for next. And this is a very, very important step. If you remember, when I was installing this, when I was installing this, it asked me whether I need to select basic, I need to select custom, I need to download. I have asked you to select custom. Basic may not give you, so custom. So if I select custom, see, all this is something which I've shown you already in the document. Okay. Now in this, custom has to be selected. Why custom? Custom is because we are trying to use multiple tools like SSIS, SSRS, SSAS, which may not be available in the basic version. So it has to be customized. So what will happen is, since you have selected the customize, once you start is, you have to select what are the features you want. What are the features you want? So there are many instance features which will be shown. And what are the things you need to select is, you need to select database engine. If you see the checkbox, I have clicked the checkbox, database service engine. You need to select analysis service. If you just pull down, you have to select analysis service. Whatever I've done, please blindly follow. Select this analysis service. Then slowly come down. You have to select the data quality client and integrated service. Sometimes it would have been already checked in. If it is not checked in, you check it. For me, it was already checked in. Okay, it was already checked in. So if it is not checked in, you select this. So I repeat, whatever the things has been checked. First is database engine services, first checkbox. Analysis service, second checkbox. Then data quality client, third checkbox. Integrated service, fourth checkbox. And finally, you have to like SQL client connectivity, fifth. These are the 5 minimum features that you need to select it. Post this, go for next. It will show you the path where it is getting installed. Go for next. Then it will start the installation process. It will start the installation process. Now, whenever it starts initiating it, after this page will be pop up, instance configuration. You give the instance, you go to the named instance and you select any name you select. I have just selected MS SQL Server 1 and I am going to click next. The moment I click next, this please wait message will come. And this is something which will come, which is a system server configuration. You have to just check this box, grant volume perform maintenance privilege, and go for next. Once you select this, so this is a very, very important step. Always try to connect with your database by using a Windows authentication mode. Like you already have a login credentials created for your Windows machine. Whenever you log in, you have been asked to log in, right? Go with that. So select this, post this. The same page is this, but what I've done is, in the same page, after adding this, I have given add current user. Add current user. If I add that, my system name will come here. That becomes a role. That becomes a role. So role that is required to access your database. After that, go with next. After that, go with next. And this is a very, very important step. In SS analysis service, SSAS, you have 3 types of creating the server mode. So basically, power pivot Power Pivot Mode is a new feature, but we'll talk about this tabular model and we'll also talk about multi-dimensional model. So you have to have two models. We work in two type of data models, modular type. One is a tabular model, one is a multi-dimensional model. So we need to add both the instance. For now, I will select the tabular model. For first, I'll select the tabular model, and then again I'll go to add user. So my system details will come here, and I've selected the tabular model. Go for next. And this is a summary. What are the things that will be installed? We are into this step. We already completed this many steps, and it is ready to install. Where it is getting installed, everything you can see here. And this is just a total summarization of whatever you have selected. You have selected the MS SQL Server 1. You have selected the tabular model. Everything will be getting here, and go for install. Once you install, it will take some time to install. This is how it will. As I said, whenever it is initially also, I've taken a snapshot. Whenever it is in the progress also, I've taken a snapshot. And whenever it is almost completing also, I've taken a snapshot. This is where the complete installation is completed. And I'll go with the next. So once I click the next, this will be the final messaging that it is succeeded. And then I will close this. And then I will close this. Okay. Now, again, what I will do? Again, I will go and install this. Again, I'll go and install this. But this time, what I'm going to do is the same process. What I've done, I am going to reinstall it. But this time, see, this is what something which I selected. New SQL Server standalone mode. If you see in the documentation, this is what something which I selected. The same process I will be repeating. This is a page you are seeing here. Same page you're seeing here. Again, I will repeat the same process. Again, perform a new instance. Again, go with a developer version. This is something which I've already done previously. Now, again, I'm doing. Why? It will be answered in next 1 minute. Go for next. Accept the terms and condition. Select all the 5 checkboxes like database, engine service, analysis service, integrated service, data quality service, and one more is connectivity. All 5 you check, and then go for next. This is something which I've already done it. Then again go for next. But this time I am going to create another instance. Initially I gave MS SQL Server 1. Now I'm giving Server 2. But this time the change is I will be selecting multi-dimensional. It's the same process. Again, you check this, you go for next. Again, you go for Windows authentication. You add your current user. Your system name will come here. If you add a current user, it is coming here. Go for next. Now this time I will be trying to have multi-dimensional model. So you need to have 2 instances, one with a tabular model, one with a multi-dimensional. I will tell you what is a tabular model. I will tell you what is a multi-dimensional, how it really works. We are going to see everything practical as well. But for now, since we are doing an installation process, in the installation process, I recommend you to create one more time. Exactly the same process, run it 2 times. One with the first instance with the tabular model and one with the multi-dimensional model. Just this is the only change. Again, you go and add a user. Again, your username will come. Again, go for next. Again, these are all the summary of the features that has been selected. This time I'm selecting MS SQL Server 2. That is the instance. Then again, I'm going to install. Again, it is going to start the process. Again, it is going to progress it. And if you see, finally, the installation is completed. Finally, I will see this message. I will close it. Okay. Complete. This is a complete. Close it. Now what we have done is the complete first step has been installed. This first step is installed. SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition. In this, two instances, one instance with a tabular model, one instance with a multi-dimensional model. I have installed it and I have kept it ready. But in order to operate this, I will be using one UI tool, which is called SQL Server Management Studio. Now let's go and see the second part, installation. Now, if you see the second part, installation, see, one was the instance which was tabular model, and again I have created one more instance for multi-dimensional model. This is something which you need to do twice. Okay. For now, at least you do one, but when we are learning about the topic, we can do the next one. So right now I have done both. So this is again repeating the steps. This time it's for multi-dimensional model. So again, I'm repeating every single step. Again, I'm performing a new installation. Again, I'm going with the developer. Again, I'm accepting terms and conditions. So everything I'm doing again and again, all the things, every single snapshot is being taken. You need not even worry. Your focus is only to replicate the same thing. So this is a multi-dimensional model. Maybe I'm selecting the SQL Server 2. Now again, I'll be going here. And this time I will be selecting multi-dimensional model. So this is complete of the first step, the first SQL Server installation. Now we need to install the second tool, which is Microsoft SQL Server Studio 2019. Now this SSMS, which is called the SQL Server Management Studio, it is an integrated environment for managing any of the SQL infrastructure. You can use your SSMS to manage, develop, and you can access the SQL Server, and it will be like everything you can access from UI. Everything you can access from UI. Very, very straightforward installation. This is just a tool. What you have installed previously was a database, complete system. Now, in order to operate that, you need one tool. That tool is Microsoft SQL Server Studio, which is called SSMS. Now, basic thing, just go and search this in the Google and add one download button. The moment you open this, click the first SSMS, and the moment you click this, you will be taken into this download SQL Server Management Studio. And post this, you will be like free download for SQL Server Management. Click this. Click this. The moment you click this, this is a file that will be loaded. SSMS setup enu.exe file, which is around 675 MB. This will be downloaded. Again, in the software, create a folder called SQL Management Studio and copy this. And then you start the installation. So I'll go back to my softwares. So first software was this one. The second software is Management Studio. So Management Studio is now I'm using it for UI tool, which will give us the clarity on how we can use. It will give us a better workable things. Like you need not go and search everything. Everything is readily available for us. You can go and use this tool. So this tool again, I'll start installing. Unfortunately, I've already installed it. So it's asking me repair, uninstall or close. But when you're running for the first time, it will be showing like this. Microsoft SQL Studio, Management Studio with Azure, maybe a latest update. Let's not worry about this. This is the location path and you start giving install. The moment you give install, it will start installing. It will take some time. Overall progress. At any point of time, don't click cancel or else everything will be interrupted. Then again go with this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Again, you see this. Again, I've taken. See, that's what I was saying. It was actually taking too much time. Okay, even at that also I've taken a snapshot. Okay, where it is a progress, what it is complete. That also I've taken a snapshot. Every single step has been snapshotted. Don't worry at all. Go with this overall progress and setup completed. All specific components has been installed. Now post this, you go and search in the search button. Here, if you go and search SQL, you have to get Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. You need to get this. If you get this, that means the installation is done. Okay, very easy step this is, because it's a UI tool, right? So it will not take that much time. And it is not at all big process as well. You can just click next, 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 next. It is easily available. Okay, now if you go and search SQL, you have to see this. If you see this, it is installed successfully. You open this, you click this, you click this. This is something which is opening. Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. After installation, I'm opening this. See, once I open this, automatically it will ask me to connect to a database, and I'll be connected to this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. This is a way to access, write a code. You can write a code, you can create a tables, you can use it as a database with a very, very user-friendly UI. Same thing I'm doing here. After installing this, you'll be open with the connection. Already, it will only prompt you to the server which you want to connect. Just go and give connect. And once you give the connect, this database will be connected. And once this database is connected, you'll be able to see this SQL file where you can go and write all your code. Whatever you want to execute, whatever you want to see, you can go and edit, use this editor. Okay. Now this is the second step as we talked about. Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. The first one is a database with a complete system. The second one, it's not related to this, but it's a tool which will give a very user-friendly interaction. It will make our work easy by using the tool. Are you clear with 1 and 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go with the third one. Let me go to the page 38. 38 or 48. Okay, yeah. So 38. The third step is you need to install this Visual Studio Community 2019. Now, what is this Visual Studio? Most of you who are coming from maybe a coding background who already know about this. This is an editor which is a development editor where you can start going and creating your applications. The Visual Studio IDE is a software program for developers to write and edit the code. It uses interface and it uses interface is used for software development to edit, build, and develop the code. It's an editor. It's an editor where you can connect to any of the software and start implementing the code. Remember, SQL Server was a database. SQL Server Management Studio is to connect the database, and Visual Studio is maybe if you want to write any logic, implement the code, create a jobs, this is how you need to install it. This is a very good editor. You can use any other editor, but Visual Studio is again a Microsoft product which will help us to come up with a good user-friendly tool for writing the code. Now, same thing. Go and search this Visual Studio Community 2019 in the Google. The moment you search, go with the first link. The moment you see the first link, this will be open. This will be like downloaded. and you can see that, yeah, post this. You can click this. Now, Visual Studio 2019 community download. Visual Studio community download, and you click this. The moment you click this, this page will come. This page will come. The moment you click this, this page will come. This page, if you see here, as I told you, don't go for 2022 version, which is still not stable. You can go down. You can go down, and there is something called older version. Click that older version. That is something which I've shown you here as well. Go down. Go down. Click this older version. It's underlined. Click this older version. The moment you click the older version, this page will come. 2019 products. 2019. This is the product. Maybe you download it. If you download it, it will take you to this page. It will take you to this page. So you click this download. So before that, if you don't have an account, maybe it will ask you to log into account. If not, directly it will open. Now what you need to do is you need to install this Visual Studio Community 2019. Don't go with a professional one, or don't go with this. Go with this Visual Studio. Just create a download. Again, if you create a download, thanks for downloading Visual Studio. This has been downloaded. Okay, it may ask for account. It may ask for account. For me, let's say I have already logged in. Okay, if I not, it will ask you to log into your account. It could be any account. It could be any account. Okay, it could be an Outlook, it could be a Gmail, or it could be anything. You can just log in. In case if it asks, it may ask for the details. Just give your details. So some of the times what happens, they also want a genuine person downloading this Microsoft products. So they may ask you email details. Just enter that. Now again, I'll go to software. In the Visual Studio, you copy this file which is get downloaded, and you start installing this. Double click this. Go for this. Again, if you see this Visual Studio installer, it is getting installed, and finally this page will be open. Finally, this page will be open. Very, very important step. This is the final step for the installation purpose. You need to select this data storage and processing, and also you need to select Visual Studio extension developer. This two box has to be checked, and you have to go with your install button will be there. Your modify or install both will be there. This requires around 3.3 GB of space. Make sure your C drive space is this much, and it will be showing install. It will be showing modify. If it is already existing, it will show modify. If it is already for the first time, if you're doing, it will show install. Just install this. Very, very much mandatory is these two things. This and all, you need not click it. This is not required. This is not required. This is not required. This is not required. But data storage and processing is required. Whereas Visual Studio is required. You need to select this and then go, and your installation will start. Your installation, this will take huge time, maybe 20-25 minutes. Then slowly it is completed 55% and 8%. Then now it is downloaded. It is completed 79% and 99%. And I forgot to tell you one thing. If you remember here, whenever I'm selecting this part, data storage, the moment I click the data storage, your SSD, which is a SQL Server data tools, comes built in for 2019 version. This is what I was telling. SSD tools, data tools, no need to install separately if you are using 2019 version, because automatically automatically what is happening? Whenever you are installing this, the box which you're selecting, right? This box. So this box, if you're selecting, automatically it will show here the SQL Server data tools. This is the reason I've told you install 2019 version. If you're installing 19 version, you need not install this data tools separately. You can directly check this box and you can install it automatically along with the Visual Studio 2019. This data tools also comes into picture. Or else again you have to go and do manually, which is not recommended because we are already into the 2022 version. Let's go back and install 2019 version, which is very easy for us. No need to install separately as a data tools. Okay, very important step. Page 43, very important step. Okay, I've selected this. Then as I said, it will take huge time. 5%, 0%, 55%, 8%, 79%, and finally it is completed. So post this, I can see that I can go and search the Visual Studio here. Visual Studio here, I got it. Okay. So 17 also I've used, 15 also I've used, 19 also used. Don't think this is a 4. I've installed 4 times. That's why it's a 4 files. Okay. Don't deviate with respect to this. It's just a Visual Studio. Since I've installed it 4 times, it was showing 4, but you need not worry about it. So if you open that, this will open. Visual Studio screen will open. This is basically used for the code editing purpose. Now, once you open this Visual Studio, the first page it will show you is a create new project. Create new project. Okay, or you can just continue without code, anything you want. So what you do, you click this continue without code because we are not starting any project as such. You continue without code. This page will be open. This is where you will be writing your lot of jobs. I would say this is a Visual Studio where you can use it for an editor. Now then you go to extension. In the extension, you need to have 3 things. The first thing is you need to select SQL Server Integration Service. This is SSIS. This is SSIS. In the extension, you start downloading this SSIS. As I said, 3 projects we need to create. One for SSIS, one for SSAS, one for SSRS. So you go and download it. The moment you download it, this file is getting downloaded. Okay, you keep it aside. Then again, after this one, you go and select SSAS, Microsoft Analysis Service Project. You select this. Again, you click download. And one more is there, which is a reporting service. Reporting service also you click it and you download it. And once you click this small window will be open that it is going to ask, I am going to install Microsoft Analysis Service and I am going to install reporting services. SSIS is also has to be installed, but it has not happened. This 2 projects is automatically asking for modify. Just go and modify. It will only install. This is the 3 projects which I need to do it. So automatically in the Visual Studio, in the extension, I can go and select this SSIS, SSRS, SSAS, and it is going to install. See, it is installed. It has installed. Okay, SSIS, SSRS is installed. Now what you need to do, you go to your Visual Studio. In the create a new project, you start searching if the integrated service is readily available. Yes, you can create an integrated service project now. One of you asked me, right? I already have a installed. Once you install the Visual Studio, make sure you have this integration service project, because remember, I need to create 3 projects. One for SSIS, one for SSAS, one for SSRS. After this installation, after this installation, make sure you go and search analysis service. You should be able to see tabular model or a multi-dimensional model. You should be able to see this is for analysis service. And then you search for reporting service. You should be able to search the reporting service as well. And in fact, first time when you're doing, you will not get this integrated service because integrated service did not get installed. If you see here, only two things, analysis service, reporting service was installed. I was not able to install the integrated service. For integrated service, if you remember, one file was downloaded. One file was downloaded. This is analysis service. This is for integrated service. For integrated service, there was one file downloaded. You again go here and copy this integrated service file and you start installing this. For integrated service only, you need to do manually. For other two things, it will only update it. So this is one, since I already have it, it is showing an uninstall. But for the first time, when you go and install this, analysis service will be readily available, reporting service will be readily available, but integrated services will not be there. I'll go to the software. I will go to this SQL tools. I'll open this integrated service, double click it. This is a page I've got. Since now I've got this page, but when I'm doing for the first time, I will get this page. Click OK. This is the first page I'll get. Since I'm doing for the first time, it will show me integration install. Click next. In which community you want to install this integrated service? Visual Studio community 4. I do have many applications, like I do have many instances, but this is my latest instance, the 4th instance. Check that box, install. For you, it will be like community version 2019. Just install this. It will get installed. It will load all the packages and it will set up the progress. Setup. All setup is completed. All specification components has been successful. Now again you go here. Now you search integrated services, you will get it. Integrated service project. Now you will get it. Now I was able to get this integrated service project, reporting service project, as well as I was able to get analysis project as well. Now all three is done. All three is done. So you go to Visual Studio, you search integrated service. You should be able to see integrated service project. You search analysis project. You should be able to see analysis as well. Analysis service. You should be able to see analysis service as analysis as well, like tabular model or a multi-dimensional model, 2 instances, and finally reporting project. So if you see the reporting project, yeah, the report server project, that is also there. All three is done now. All three is done. All three installation is done. That all comes under data tools.